the previous matches we saw. Like first we saw very similar rushdown style, we saw very similar zoning style. Now, what do we have ahead of us?
This one will likely be much slower pace unless Iota gets in, because although these characters are very good, they both are, I guess, more keep away kind of characters, mostly because Wario is a bait and switch kind of guy, you know? He has the highest air acceleration in the game, so he can just kind of be in and out immediately. Meanwhile, Rob has some good projectiles, very big hitboxes, but not a lot of kill pressure in this game.
I feel like the fact that it's a slower paced match, like, or at least on paper it should be, would benefit both players in different ways because of the nature of wafts. But then also, like, Rob likes to take things slow too, naturally being a zoner.
Yeah, so this matchup, like, it could really go either way, but I feel like Wario kind of likes being in this slower pace because you had just more time to build up waft.
Like, no matter what, the factor of time is going to be on Iota's side.
Yes.
And that's going to be annoying for Chia, because that means that she has to try to control the pace of this match where it's as slow as she wants it to be, which is like a really specific kind of passive zoning. On top of that, she got Iota charging into her non-stop. The damage deficit during that first stock was like really bad.
Yeah, and it ended up being a lot of forward smashes finding their mark too, but ooh, that little mix-up from Iota was cute. Oh, Chia gets the back air, and as I was about to say, the lingering hitbox on that is years, and it has a really deceptive hitbox.
That was definitely like nowhere on top of Rob, but it worked, and Chia had a very good idea of where to position it.
Yeah, if you're ever in for a fun afternoon, you can always just, oh yeah, using that waft to drop beat. You can't air dodge out of that, so, I mean, once you commit to the up beat, that was checkmate. So I was about to say, if you're in for a fun afternoon, just look up Brawl hitbox visualizations. It is the funniest thing to see some of these moves with like bubbles next to them.
I remember someone long ago showed me Snake's up tilt,
yes,
for instance. And that was the first time I was like, why?
Yeah. Why? But also, in Brawl, it's like, why not? You know, everyone kind of has something like that. Maybe not to that extent, but something. All right, so now Chia on her final stock. Go to the other side? Yeah, just use that back air to boost your momentum a little bit. But oh man, these forward smashes from Iota, always calling out landings. You can't land with the button because it has armor.
Although to Chia's credit, she's been doing a great job of just flying around the stage as best as she can. Like Iota trying to stay at the top of her, but like this is a very slippery Rob.
Yeah. And like the defensive play, as you were saying, is great, but it's just you need to get more off the offensive. And Wario's just slippery sometimes.
I feel it's just a matter that whenever the two of them do decide to interact, it's Iota who's getting a lot more damage off of it. Where Chia might get better spacing, where like the stage control might be easier for her to net once she decides to, you know, land back on Smashville.
Great SDI coming through for Chia, just SDIing up so that the last hit of down air wouldn't come through. Ooh, and the snipe, not a strong laser though, so it won't kill. But you know the back air is coming. We all know it.
Great patience on her too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is going to be game one. Iota taking things with a solid 2 stock.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, and the waft was still there too. It's like Iota was putting in the work and really putting on the pressure before waft. So that's just another thing to think about, another thing to kind of fear in the match as it hits its later hours.
I feel like the honest falls on Chia to be able to like control the pacing of this match, but it's such a difficult balance. Where like, if you tell a zoner like, hey, you want this match to be slow, the typical answer is you are right.
Yeah.
But now you're fighting someone who's literally beating you over the head with a clock. Like, not only does Wario have like excellent air mobility that's letting him fight against Rob, but like you can't really lame him out because he's gonna win that battle.
Absolutely. Like, you can't lay him out unless you already have like a huge lead, and Iota is strong enough to not let that happen. Every lead has been like a small one at best.
Yeah, and that's like, that's the major issue that I'm seeing here is that like, Chia is willing to play things in a very bait and punish style, but she's not getting the damage to really make it substantial. Like, Iota's forcing these very aggressive trades, and Wario seems to be thriving off of it.
Yeah, and actually, Iota almost got to kill with that force smash right there, but she had a great call out. Using the strong laser, but not quite finding the mark there. But now the gyro is in Iota's hands. He might be able to make a big play happen because Wario's glide toss is pretty wild. Don't get hit by that. I was about to say. Yeah,
she was charging that for a minute.
Yeah.
So the switch to Final Destination, I feel like just to take a quick look at that. You mentioned earlier that the ledges for this are a bit wonky. Do you think Chia hanging around on those is going to get dangerous at any point?
Not really, because Iota would have to commit. And plus, there's no real untechable things in this game. So as long as you have the chops tech, it's fine to just kind of hang out there and, you know, take your risks.
All right. I think in general, just being more worried for the fact that, once again, Iota has a lead. Sitting with percentage is not that threatening, but it's the stock count that really matters because he can hang around as long as he wants. Chia's got to do the approaching.
Yeah, but some disrespect on that one, just kind of using the armor. Great catch by Iota, though. And every time the gyro is left kind of in neutral, Iota ends up getting his hands on it and making more use of it than Chia can. Just like this. These are little and one combos right here, dribbling back and forth.
And once again, get a little bit of a pepper of damage with the laser, but the fact that the laser isn't getting a chance to really charge is leaving it to be not that substantial, but great dive to the ledge saves Chia from the potential waft. Although it's still very deep into the match, very likely we'll see the waft once again.
Oh, absolutely, especially if this basin comes out. But, oh, man, that back air snuck right in there. And I don't think Chia was ready to DI that.
Yeah, no, that was out deep, too. Like, yeah. Percentages aside, there's just the pressure of the situation. You got Iota flying around you like a fruit, like a gnat. Like, this is ridiculous. And now, tire in hand. You know, I forgot that was a thing.
And he gets two of them. And that glide toss, too, it's just another great movement option. So now he can move fast on the ground with the tire in hand and in the air with this great air acceleration. Wario's slippery in this game.
He's got so many toys to play around with.
Yeah, but something to note, he is still pretty exploitable, but I don't know if Rob can exploit him through like a grab release or anything like that. Because a lot of characters in this game, like because of the arc of the air grab release, you can just hold on to him if it's a dash grab and just kind of kill him with a forward smash or forward air. It's really, really depressing when it happens. But Chia really starting to make a run right now. Getting some great back airs in there, using every single hitbox possible.
Like, she's keeping the damage game in her favor once again, but as soon as Iota gets his feet back on the ground, it just becomes a difficult matter for Chia. Whether she takes plenty of damage off of one hit, or the fact that Iota keeps on getting great spaces to be able to land. Very cute movement from Chia. She's trying to pressure out this stock from Iota.
But she still just needs a little bit more, especially since Iota, his waft, actually in about 30 seconds he'll have full waft again. Great pivot grab though. And, oh, do you have something? No. Just a little DI mix-up. Sorry.
It just looked like she was waiting for the laser to charge just a little bit more. She seemed to have that arc of the laser, like, perfect.
And also, it was a pivot grab, and Wario's feet were still on the ground. You have to make sure his feet are off the ground to get the air release. I think you'll get the grounded release here. Or just up throw. Yeah, just take your bets here.
So long as she doesn't take too much damage, nonetheless, it's a very threatening situation for Chia to be in because of that thing.
Yeah, no tech, and that's going to be it for that game. Iota is going to go up 2-0 at the moment, kind of checking in. It's best of 5, so Chia still has some options on the table. As far as I know, she's a Rob main through and through. No pockets here.
That's what I gather, especially considering that she plays Rob in future iterations of Smash.
Yeah, Rob mains tend to be like Rob mains for life. If you pick Rob as like, oh, I'm going to play this old, outdated piece of technology, it's okay. You're just about that life.
I mean, Rob is like a big nostalgic toy in real life. Makes all the sense in the world that it would be the same thing in Smash.
Yeah, it's one of the things that like you just kind of keep around.
The setting change, though, I find to be very interesting. The change of Lilacers, I feel, is going to help Chia a lot, especially considering like how she seems to have been moving around. Like, little bits of confidence peppered in here and there through game 2 gave me the sense that Chia knows what she needs to do to fight Iota. It's just not an easy feat.
Yeah, especially near the end. Like, she was starting to really get some good hits in there and mix up her neutral exchanges enough to make it so that Iota didn't really have a beat. And now, I mean, she's doing much, much better. Iota still just kind of charging that waft, but he's working his way in way slower.
I like how she immediately went to center stage. She had such a good idea of how Top and Laser were going to be able to control that space.
Yeah, but great up air by Iota. Another great nair fighting back, but Iota, he's finding the little aerials faster just because he's always pulled the trigger first. Rob's aerials aren't all that fast aside from forward air. So if you just kind of know that they're going to jump, hit up, throw out a hitbox first, and then boom.
That was one hell of a read Iota was going for.
Yeah, well actually he messed up. He didn't get the full length of his Dacus. That's the full length right there. If he got that one, it would have called out Chia's roll perfectly. So slight execution clubs, but still really putting on pressure. Only 1% separating the two at the moment. But a great up air, just clapping underneath. Actually, I think hit Rob's head.
It's a weird up air, but that timing on it was just phenomenal. And we haven't seen him try to be aggressive with his landings too, so he ended up deciding to pull the trigger in such a high-tension situation. It's looking good for him. That being said, Chia has a lot of damage down onto this Wario. So, Waft be damned, she is going for his stock.
Yeah, as you were saying before, no rage to the Waft. Even though it's deadly, great back air, by the way. No hesitation on that one, but even though Waft is very deadly in this game, without rage, it's not quite as deadly as you're used to. We're not going to see kills at like 20%, unless
we're not going to see kills at all, not with that Waft.
Yeah, swing and a miss, but Iota still has plenty of time to build it off.
And to his credit, he's got control of the ledge, he's got plenty of damage down. Chia without her gyro available to her, it's going to be a bit more difficult to try and control space, just because it's one less thing that she could throw in his face.
Oh man, that forward smash was a little bit ratchet, just a little bit. And Iota going deep for the edge guard, using the air acceleration of Wario just to put the pressure on again. But now Chia standing tall like a wall, making sure that Iota can't get back in. And look at this movement from her too. Yeah,
she's been moving around Lilac clean. Like, I'm actually surprised that the stage didn't come out a little bit earlier, but a trump card it may be. It's working out really well for Chia. Unfortunately, getting anti-air once again. Iota forcing Chia onto her last stock potentially.
Yeah, potential tournament stock. This is in losers, so whoever loses here gets 13th, and I'm sure both of them want to get top 8, so can't let up right now. It's still very doable, but Iota's getting some good damage in there. And oh man, she didn't trust that forward smash. This is a scary situation. I don't blame her for going for it. I don't blame her.
I mean, look how things worked out. 36% in the grand scheme of this set. Like, it's not really that heavy of a lead. Like, it seems like Chia's been putting a lot more effort into keeping the damages closer in. So, very fortunate second stock there for Chia. But she's still got to put the work in full stop here if she's trying to bring us into game 4.
Okay, but here comes the back airs calling out everything. Chia gets a little bit something else, but Iota, just look at this movement, so slippery. And now he's starting to show that he's willing to throw out the forward smashes. Use all that armor, jab the forward smash, great DI from Chia, staying alive, but for how much longer? Ledge trap scenario, and you're over 100. Your ledge options get so much work, you have to drop down, double jump.
She's scooting away right to the other side of the ledge, although that's given Iota enough time to have plenty of off charge. So now tension's high.
Oh, it calls out the jump. Handshake's coming through, but Iota will take it 3-0. This is Wario.
Yes, Wario.
Yes.